We're supposed to be talking. We start off talking.
Whose rule is that? Start off talking. There we go.
Well, it's either that or I start dancing in my kitchen.
No, I don't want to see that. Do I have to? Must I? I'd rather read from this well-known bestseller, Energetic Invocations, a book of vibrational change.
So this is another book that's published by EI Publishing, and it's actually very groundbreaking. It's an interesting read. It talks really, you have all these people who go out there and try to tell everybody how to change their energy, and how many people go to a guru or they go to a psychic, get a reading, or do something, and then they come back and someone says, "Mom, or you go in and you get your husband or whatever, and it completely takes you out of it. You're like, oh my God, I've been here for a minute. I mean, and I'm not saying my own family or whatever. I think there's everyone. I challenge anyone who says, "Oh no." It's like, yeah, bullshit. Who do you think you're fooling? You're not fooling me.
It's energy intercepting you.
But I mean, okay, I'll even be. You can get in the parking lot and you drive away. I mean, that's the old joke about church, right?
Nah.
You're in line and you go up to receive the host and everyone. Oh, after you. Then they get out in the parking lot. Get out of my way!
Beep beep.
So, what, because we've read, I think, every single thing on, you have. I haven't. You have read every single thing on energy, on science. Well, I challenge anyone to pick a book, unless it's just published today that you haven't read. So, we struggled with it ourselves as well, as to how do you maintain that? How do you maintain that feeling and that clarity? Right. And, this is the first book that really brings to light the idea that, you can work on changing things, but unless you change the energy that's behind it, how do you make it stick? And I can say on some of the stuff that I've read, especially lately, some of the books that I've been reading, one I'm going to refer to is one on habits. It's by changing a habit is changing your energy.
Right.
And they talk about, changing things in your life. And when they give you, again, example, I'm repeating myself, about a habit, you go about changing how you do something that changes the energy. And the book is the first book I've read that says changing the energy changes the way it helps you to maintain that authenticity of who you are and the truth that you know and the life that you want to live.
And you have to be aware and present in that energy to, recognize to yourself and know and hold on to that.
Yeah, but
that it's there.
But the thing I disagree on is that you have to have the awareness. The difference with this book is not, everybody...
You have to stay in that awareness.
Well, this book is the one book that talks about maintaining it. I hate to say
Stay and maintain is the same definition.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
Okay, whatever.
So how do you maintain it? You do a couple of push-ups?
No.
How do you stay in it? You do a couple of push-ups?
Okay, so you said stay in it. Well, how do you stay in it? Okay, all right, so we're in agreement. Saying it differently, whatever.
Coming from two extremes.
So anyways.
And I'm not swearing, although I do.
Oh, you swear worse than I do. Okay.
So this book is really cool, and I'm interrupting your energy to lasso it in a bit where the conversation is going, okay? It's about energy.
It's always my energy.
Okay, so we look at self, we look at journey, we look at people, we look at environment, and we look at world. What else is there?
There is nothing else.
So if we head over to journey, because that neon light is flashing right now, let's bypass self and head into journey.
Well, before we do that, let's just briefly, the steps, you're doing what the book says not to do, which is jump ahead and pick and choose.
I thought you said you wanted to talk about journey.
I know, but I think we need to give a little bit of an
expert. She set me up here, folks. She set me up. I'm too fast for her. I'll time travel to the past and make her repeat it.
Repeat it, yeah. So I think it's important just to make this clarification first, that the steps that you go through is you work on yourself, and then what's next?
Journey. I'm standing here at the fork, and I didn't use the other F word that I would like to, but journey. Once again, so it took you to go all the way back to where I am. Okay.
So the journey is
thumbs up.
Once we start working with the self, and you've cleared a lot of your own beliefs, your own ideas, old beliefs that you've had to help you clear the slate to move in. The next thing we start looking at is clearing your idea about a journey.
Right. And that exists in your life, how you choose to live your life. What can you create with your expertise? And it's a different quote-unquote definition of expertise. Currency, it's a different definition of currency. What's your level of commitment? And what can your experience do for you?
So when you actually start, the first step in anything, if you go into a house and you want to fix it up, the first thing you do is you got to clean it out. You got to get rid of the old crap that you don't want. You got to take the stuff that you want and figure out what you want to do with it. Then you bring in new stuff, and then you enhance, the stuff that you had enhances the new stuff. The new stuff represents who you are. Who you want to be.
And when you do that, you're actually working and massaging the energy.
Right. So the first thing, when you start looking at the journey and you look at that, a lot of that is clearing out things, stories, people have dictated that you're going to be X. We have a community, and in this community, we need a smarty pants, we need a drunk, we need the teacher, we need the little school marm, we need, everyone, there's all these different definitions of what makes a good community. So everyone sort of sits back and kind of figures out who's going to play what role. I mean, we're simplifying it.
Very
but that's
Shakespearean.
Right. I mean, so what if you've given a role that you don't want? What if I sat down and I was told you're going to be,
the court jester?
The Joker. And I know I'm not a joker. I'm a freaking, I want to go out and be the drunk. I want my wine. Here's my goddamn wine. So, I mean, we're making light of this because we're trying to have fun with it because,
but also because it's your journey and you orchestrate it. So you orchestrate it. So get in there and mine it to your benefit and work with the energy. And after you do all those clearings that you said about yourself, you understand more of what your clarity is, and you start to mine the energy of your authenticity. And so what does that mean? So now you're at journey and you're actually living your life. So now you're standing on the ground, and how do you use it? What do you do? And you start to look at your expertise, what money and worth means to you, and not in the traditional old, the new age guru sense of it, but really what your currency is and what you'll put up with and what you won't.
So, for one example is when they talk about currency and, people, say, oh, you've got a problem with money. You've got to, deal with money, and you got to make friends with money and all this other, this other stuff. The truth of the matter is, if money really isn't all that important to you, because other things are more important, if you at least acknowledge it, then you can understand that money can still be a side dish. Right. You're looking for your main, a lot of really successful entrepreneurs had a driving goal to do something. And they wanted money, but they weren't chasing money. Right. They had a drive to do something, and that's all that they wanted to do. And if someone said to them, hey, wait a second, you haven't gotten the money because you haven't focused it. Well, geez, that's a freaking stop right there and take a left. Wait a second. It completely takes you off track. Right. And by examining currency does not equal money. It is some part of it. Right. Because yes, we live here and we need, but if that becomes the focus, and it really isn't your driving goal. If you want to cure cancer, or you want to get a spaceship up into space, and someone says, but you're not focusing on money, so how are you going to make money? Oh my God, they pull you right off it. Right. And if you don't acknowledge that, yes, I want money, but that's not everything I want. This is what I want. If you at least say, that's okay, this is what I want, that's going to come. That will always be there. Right. This is the first time I've seen it offered in a way that you can express the fact that, I'm going to say you're a doctor or you're a nurse. I just want to go out and I enjoy working with people and helping them getting to a new place in their life. I love that. So if that's your goal.
And that has value. I'm waiting for you to use that word. That has value. No, I'm No, you're describing value. That's a beautiful description. But if you do that, value.
But this, so currency in this book has more of a definition of value.
Right.
Versus, and it talks about it in a way that you never heard of before.
And it propels you from, examining your beliefs and examining where you came from and what you're clearing and all that stuff and letting all that stuff go and then realizing what your value is and that, what your goals are valuable. And they don't always refer to money.
Right. So at this point, I think it's really important for me to say that this is not, a traditional psychiatry also, not all, but a lot of it looks at, what my mom did or what my dad did or who, how I was brought up or whatever. In this book isn't about blaming anyone. I mean, for the most part, most people do what they think is the best thing. Sometimes people do things, it doesn't help you, but it's not because they did it out of malice. It was just, that was the best they knew.
Right.
And that doesn't excuse anything, but it's like you sit back and you look at it for the truth of it. And they, again, I'm going to use the example of, there's a community and they gave you a role. They want you to fit in. We need you to fit in. But if it didn't work for you, you don't have to sit there and say, screw them. Who the hell do they think they are? It's more of a situation of like understanding it and moving forward in a different way. Right. So this isn't the book also when it talks about clearing things and moving beyond. It's not about, hey, look what these people did to me. It's about saying, hey, this is the best that they knew, or this is why they were trying to do it, and you can let it go.
Because holding on to that distracts you from reaching your value and your goals and what's important to you.
And so with that, it's important because society really, it's not your mother, your father, your sisters, brothers. It's really society because your parents, if they did something and said something, it's because that's what they were told. And if you talk to, their parents, it was because what they were told. It's something that's been passed down. And you know what? We're kind of, you and I are like, we're done. You know what? That doesn't work. It doesn't work for me, and I refuse to pass that down.
Because stories are stories, and if you stay in one story, that's it. You're stuck.
Yeah.
And why be stuck when you're on your journey? You want to travel and you want to move and you want to enjoy it. And so Energetic Invocations, a book of vibrational change, is available through www.eipublishing.com. And in addition to very valuable chapters to kind of be a guide in your process of examining yourself, there are really cool energized invocations in there that help you move with the energy and you make them your own. And they're different than anything else, and I can say this, that you've experienced. I don't know what you've experienced, but they're different. They're really cool energy, and I like energy. So it's cool energy.
Have fun. Enjoy.
Ciao.
Bye.